What up, SDF? If you're skinny and you've been lifting for months or even years, eating more than the people around you, doing what you think you're supposed to do, and your body still looks basically the same, I need you to really listen to me. Because the problem was never effort, it was never motivation, and it never was about genetics. The real problem is that nobody ever explained how muscle growth actually works in real life. So you've been stuck doing things that feel productive without ever forcing your body to change. And that's frustrating in a way that people who haven't really been skinny their whole lives, they don't really understand. Being skinny, it's not just about wanting bigger arms or even abs. It messes with how you see yourself. You put on clothes that nothing fits. Shirts hang off your shoulders instead of sitting on them. Hoodies make you look smaller instead of bigger. You catch yourself adjusting your posture in the mirrors or reflections, trying to look broader or more solid than you actually feel. Or you walk into rooms and you feel like you take up less space than other men, even if nobody says anything. And over time, that does something to your confidence. Not in an obvious, insecure way, but in a quiet background way where you start questioning yourself. You start wondering why your effort doesn't translate. You go to the gym and you're not clueless. You know exercises, you know form, you're not brand new, but you still feel behind. You watch other people add size and strength while your body barely changes. And eventually you stop being angry and start doubting yourself. You wonder if your metabolism is just different, if your body doesn't respond, if this is just how you're built. And the worst part is nobody takes this seriously. If you're overweight and struggling, people sympathize. If you're skinny and struggling, people joke about it. They say, just eat more. Like you haven't already tried that 100 times. So you stop talking about it and you just keep grinding quietly, even though nothing's really changing. Now here's the part you need to hear clearly. You're not lazy. If you were lazy, you wouldn't be in the gym. You wouldn't be watching long videos like this. You wouldn't care enough to be frustrated. The real issue is that you're stuck in a middle ground. You want results, but you're scared of fully committing to the process. You want to gain size, but you don't want to gain fat. You want progress, but you do not want to look worse before you look better. So you have to commit. You eat more for a week, then you pull back when your appetite drops or your stomach feels off. You train hard, but you don't track progression, so you're never sure if you're actually improving. You lock in for 2 weeks, then second guess yourself when the mirror doesn't immediately reward you. From your perspective, it feels like effort. From your body's perspective, nothing consistent is happening, and your body only responds to consistency. Your body doesn't care how badly you want it. It responds to patterns. If food intake is inconsistent, growth is just going to be optional. If training stimulus is random, adaptation is optional. If commitment changes based on how you feel that week, your body stays exactly the same. A big reason this keeps happening is fear, not laziness. Fear of getting fat, fear of losing the little leanness you have, fear of committing months of effort and still questioning if it's worth it, fear of putting time and being disappointed, so you hedge. You stay conservative. You tell yourself you're being smart or cautious when in all reality you're protecting yourself from uncertainty. But muscle growth requires sustained exposure to discomfort, not extreme discomfort, just enough pressure applied consistently for long enough. And if you never stay there long enough, nothing is going to change. This is why lean bulking exists, not as influencer jargon, as a behavioral solution. A lean bulk is you deciding you're going to eat slightly more than you burn every single day consistently, long enough that your body has no choice but to adapt. Not force feeding, not stuffing yourself, just structured surplus. What usually happens instead is skinny guys get tired of being small and swing to the other extremes. They eat everything, the scale jumps. At first it feels amazing. You finally see movement, then digestion sucks. Your energy is going to drop. You don't look how you look. Your face feels softer, your stomach sticks out, and mentally you're gonna start panicking. So you cut everything back hard, you lose muscles along with fat, and you're right back to where you started. That cycle, it doesn't fail because eating big never works. It fails because it creates mental resistance you can't sustain. Consistency beats intensity every time when intensity makes you quit. So let's get very specific because this is where most videos fall apart. I'm going to walk you through exactly how this works in real life. No guessing, no vibe. Let's say you're about 5'10", around 135 pounds. You're clearly skinny, you have low muscle mass, not much body fat, training 3 to 4 days a week. A realistic maintenance for someone like that is usually around 21 to 2200 calories per day. It doesn't need to be perfect, it needs to be consistent. If you eat around that same amount and your weight stays roughly the same over a couple of weeks, that is your maintenance. For a lean bulk, you add about 250 calories, not 1,000, not some insane jump, just enough to create progress without turning it into a dirty bulk. That puts you around 2350 to about 2450 calories per day. Now, protein. This is non-negotiable. About 1 gram per pound of body weight. In this example, around 135 grams of protein per day. That's your foundation. Don't debate it. Protein is what tells your body to build muscle instead of just gaining weight. Fats don't need to be that high. Around 60, 70 grams per day is plenty. Hormones, joints, brain function, cover. cover. The rest of your calories is going to come from carbs. And yes, that ends up being about 300 grams, which is a lot on purpose. Carbs fuel training, carbs keep strength up, and carbs make growth possible. This doesn't mean you're eating candy all day. It means rice, potatoes, oats, fruits, bread. If you tolerate it well, real food, repeatable food. Now, how do you actually eat this without feeling overwhelmed? 3 to 4 meals. That's basically it. Breakfast might be eggs and egg whites with oats and fruit. Lunch could be chicken or ground beef with rice or potatoes. Dinner can look similar to lunch, then one extra protein-focused meal or shake to help you with your numbers. Greek yogurt with honey, cottage cheese, a protein shake with oats blended, and even a simple sandwich with lean meat. Boring. It works. You don't need variety. You don't need consistency. You need consistency. You eat even when you're not starving. You don't skip meals just because you're busy. You don't make it up later. You treat food like part of your training, not something you do when it's convenient. Let's talk real life scenarios, because this is where people mess it up. Say you have a busy workday and miss a meal. That does not mean the day is ruined. It means you eat a bigger dinner. Say you're not hungry in the morning, you eat anyway, even if it's smaller, because consistency, it's going to matter more than your appetite. Say you go out to eat, you don't panic. You get a meal with protein and carbs, just move on. One meal will not ruin a bowl. Consistency does. Another scenario, you step on the scale one morning and you're up 2 pounds. That's not fat, that's food, water, glycogen. You don't cut calories the next day, you look at weekly averages. If after 2 or 3 weeks your average weight isn't trending up by about a quarter to a half a pound per week, you add another 100 to 150 calories. Small adjustments, calm adjustments, not an emotional reaction. Training has to match. You're not lifting to sweat, you're lifting to progress. That means you track your lifts, you try to add reps or weight over time, even slowly. If strength isn't moving at all over weeks while food is consistent, that's feedback, not failure. You adjust training volume or recovery. This system is not a motivational thing. Here is another thing nobody tells you. The first month of doing this correctly, often it's going to feel underwhelming. Strength usually goes up before size does. Internal changes happen before visible ones. Muscles store more glycogen. Recovery improves. You feel more solid before you look. You feel more solid before you look dramatically different. If you quit here, you'll think your body doesn't respond. If you stay, something shifts quietly and then it's stacked. After a few months, your clothes will fit differently. Your posture will change without thinking about it. You start taking up more space, and at some point you stop identifying as this skinny guy trying to gain weight and start seeing yourself as someone who trains and eats with structure. That identity shift matters way more than any macro split. You're not broken, you're not late, you're not genetically cursed, you just haven't stayed consistent long enough under the right conditions. Most skinny guys, they really never do. Like, trust, they keep restarting, they keep second guessing, they keep letting fear run the process. If you remove fear and replace it with structure, your body will respond. It always does. You take nothing else from this video, take this. Muscle growth is not about effort and burst. It's about boring, repeatable execution over time. Eat consistently, train progressively, adjust calmly. Do that long enough and your body has no option but to change. And if you want help setting this up properly so you don't waste another year guessing, the coaching link is in my bio. Either way, stop sending your body mixed signals and expect it to change.